It is a beautiful winter day. It's 60 degrees outside, April 18th. And let's do a garden update inside the Geothermal Greenhouse. In about 15 minutes, my adult children and our granddaughters will be coming over and we'll be doing a family harvest through the greenhouse. It is full of vegetables. We cannot eat everything that we're growing right now, so they're going to be able to benefit from our efforts. A quick update on the greenhouse as far as how well it did during the winter and the cold. Fortunately this year we had minus 17 degree weather, so we were able to test that, and without using the supplemental heat with the propane stove I had installed, we were able to keep the greenhouse at 40 degrees. That to me is outstanding. So absolutely works. The geothermal greenhouse here that I've built and used will keep the temperatures warm enough to grow all your hardy plants during the winter. If you're going to grow tomatoes, it's not going to happen. You're going to need supplemental heat. But your hardy plants will do just fine. In addition to this 2 inches of styrofoam I have on all 4 sides of the greenhouse, I've got these 30-gallon black plastic water barrels that I filled with water. During the day, they act as a heat sink, pull in the heat, and at night they act as a radiator, releasing the heat into the greenhouse. In addition to that, I put a tablespoon of Clorox in each of the 30-gallon drums with the well water, and so I have above ground drinking water. In front of the drums here on the northwest side, we've got about 12 feet of garlic. They're doing great. I do come through about every 2 weeks and cut them down so that they do not get too floppy and out of control. Now when I say I cut them down, I don't go crazy. I leave as much greens as I can on them, but I cut them down where they start bending over on the greens. Those greens are great in salads, so don't throw those away. Over here we have a parsley plant ready to harvest and take out of the garden. That'll be replaced with a new one. Next to that we have some kale, we have some butternut squash, we've got some other squashes here. I don't want this to be a long video, so I'm just going to walk through here. We've got some early Jersey Wakefield cabbage coming on, some more kale. We use lots of kale in our green smoothies. Chives, we've been cutting these chives plants back for over a year now. They're just doing great. You let them grow, cut them back, let them grow, cut them back, let them grow, cut them back. My wife's beets are doing wonderful here. Lots of beets. We'll be harvesting the greens and the beets today. Then we have, past the beets, we've got some more cabbage and some broccoli. We've got a couple little plants that aren't doing too good. The Pac-Man broccoli, which we really like and does do well, just didn't do well for a couple of these plants. So if they don't pick it up, we'll take them out and replace them with other plants. So those are all the vegetables on the north side. And on the other side of the aisle, over here in the double 18-inch, 30-foot long box, we've got some Cosmo bush beans. You see that the leaves on some of these are burned. That's because we had a miscommunication with one of our neighbors while we were out of town, and the greenhouse didn't get opened, and it was well above 100 degrees in here, which damaged some of the leaves. They'll be perfectly fine, no worries there. We'll have lots of produce from the Cosmos bush beans. We like those a lot. Then we've got several varieties of cucumbers. Use lots of cucumbers. We like to pickle our vegetables, so we'll have straight A cucumbers. We've got Boston pickling cucumbers. We have Soyo long cucumbers, which is one of our favorites. Then we get down to the cantaloupe, several plants of cantaloupe. We've got hearts of gold cantaloupe and ambrosia cantaloupe there. After the cantaloupe, we have 2 California Wonder sweet peppers. And then we get into our tomatoes. Lots of varieties of tomatoes here. I always like to test different tomato varieties, see what grows well. We've got our favorite here, Big Beef. Absolutely recommend the Big Beef. These are new transplants as of February 17th. So those are just coming on here. I've noticed with the humidity inside the greenhouse, I do need to come by once a day and kind of tap the plants so that they do pollinate. Because there's so much moisture in the air, the pollen doesn't actually drop inside of the flower. So that will help. So we've got the Big Beef, we've got Cobra, We've got some sun sugar, which is amazing cherry tomato. Absolutely love those. And then down here on the end, we've got some white eggplant and Ukrainian eggplants. See the difference in the plants here? That's why I like to grow different varieties to see which works best. While we were building the greenhouse, which took me 2 seasons to complete it with all my testing I was doing, it was important that we had some kind of supplemental heat in here. Now that the greenhouse is done, we don't need this, but it's a good idea to have it as a backup. If something happens, it's nice to be able to know that you're having a little bit of a security blanket there. It's a Procom propane heater. On the southeast side of the greenhouse, on the other side of the door, I've got my manifold for the Geo Air. I've got it so I can open it up and show people how it works. It actually pulls the air through the 4 tubes that are coming inside and pushes it back out into the greenhouse, and I have it so it blows up, and then as it comes up, I have a fan that I keep running 24/7. I've turned it off for the video so it's not loud, and that helps move the air through the greenhouse evenly. With that fan going, there's only about a 2-degree difference between 9 feet up and down where the plants are. Without, it's about a 10 to 12-degree difference. I think the best setting for the geothermal manifold is to have it turn on when the temperatures get down to 40 and have it turn off when the temperatures get back up to 50. So it's not running all the time, just when it's needed. I'm backed as far back into the corner as I can be to give you an idea of how much this greenhouse is full of food. It's so exciting. Over here on this end, we've got a new variety that we're trying. It's the Big Dina, and it's not very fungus resistant, but we do have ripe tomatoes on here. My wife has already picked tomatoes off here. I said, stop picking until I have a chance to do a video. So we'll get these off here shortly. Those were planted November 6th. That's the Big Dina. And then we have several different varieties growing here. As you can see, they're already all the way to the top of the 7-foot T-frames, and I've already lowered them down to allow them to keep growing. Once I can't lower them any further, I will simply cut the tops and let them fruit out and harvest the fruit. Then we'll remove them and plant new plants in there. Down a little bit further, we have our favorite cherry tomato, which is the Sun Sugar tomato. Then we have some more Cobra, some more Big Beef. These plants are just in really, really good shape and very high producing plants. Then we've got 20 feet of amazing sugar snap peas. I stopped feeding these about 2 weeks ago because I anticipate getting them out here in another week or so. We stopped fertilizing 3 weeks before we remove the plants. But these plants are just doing great. Lots and lots of peas. My kids are going to be excited when they show up and help us harvest all these sugar snap peas. Last night we watched a movie, my wife and I, and what we had for dinner was a great big bowl of sugar snap peas. It was wonderful. Just in front of the manifold on the south side, we've got our grapefruit tree, which has set fruit on it, which is awesome. Was so aromatic in here as that was in full blossom. Then we've got our 2 lime trees. All 3 of these trees and many more will be planted in the other geothermal greenhouse that will be dedicated to just fruit trees. Now that I know how to do it and I know what I'm doing, we're going to build that greenhouse this year and have citrus trees full of fruit year round. Here in the soil bed, we'll be transplanting our onions here in a few days. My wife will be moving her herbs out of the pots and into her herb garden out on the south side of the house. I built her 5 20-foot long, 18-inch wide grow boxes for all of her herbs. Then we have some integrated fresh market red cabbage. Then we have some other cabbage here. I can't see the label. We have Swiss chard that we've been eating from for over a year. You can see how thick those stalks are, and we just keep eating and eating and eating from them. Let me move these sugar snap peas out of the way. We've got our table ready for the tomato plants that we will be selling. Here's a basil plant that will be going out into the herb garden that obviously needs to get transplanted immediately. Here's some onion sets that we've been growing here for about a month now. We keep cutting them back to help them grow better roots down here. They're ready to go into the garden. And then here are our beautiful, it looks like a forest, a thick forest of tomato plants. Wanted to get these transplanted earlier, but didn't have time. They will get transplanted tomorrow. So we have a couple hundred plants here that we'll be selling. The big beef variety and over here the sun sugar varieties. At the end of my temporary seedling table, I've got a 55-gallon drum of Mittleider constant feed. So I put 1 pound of Mittleider weekly feed in 55 gallons. We keep it stirred up. We put it in the bucket over here using our watering can. And as long as these seedlings are in the trays or in pots, they get the constant feed. But these are just beautiful, beautiful seedlings. Even though they're very crowded, they're still nice, thick stalks. Excellent color because they're getting all the nutrients that they need. So that is the quick walkthrough to the geothermal greenhouse, or what I like to call it, the Geo Air greenhouse. It is high productivity, high nutrition, in other words, nutrient dense food, and everything is super sweet. Hope you enjoyed this quick tour. Love to read your comments, questions, and help you grow food as if your life depends on it. This is LDS Prepper reminding you, if ye are prepared, ye shall not fear. If you're wanting to grow year-round in your area, especially in cold climates, stay tuned and subscribe so you can get the announcement when I have the DVD materials list and everything ready for you to build the same structure.